There are a lot of things that come to mind when you're getting ready to print something. But there's one very important thing you have to consider. How do you want your colors to look? There are two types of color theory: RGB, red, green, blue, and CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Figuring out what you should use is a very difficult experience. Most people are for CMYK, but that's a little simplistic. In actuality, there are pros and cons to each method. Follow along to find out what they are. Let's take a look at the RGB Pros. Number one, it allows for a wider range of colors. Secondly, it lets more data be used. Third, it can sometimes lead to more vibrant colors. And lastly, RGB is more flexible than CMYK. Now on to RGB Cons. First, it's not the industry standard. It's more common in web design than in printing. Secondly, not everyone will work with RGB images. RGB relies somewhat on light, which printing does not provide like a computer monitor does. And lastly, there might be a slight color shift from screen to printing. Now let's take a look at the pros of CMYK printing. To start, CMYK requires less color theory knowledge. Also, it is the industry standard. And with that, it is common in printing. Most businesses are used to working with it. Finally, there is less of a color shift from screen to printing. Now on to the cons of CMYK printing. First, it does reduce data in the original image. Secondly, it doesn't shift well from RGB. Third, CMYK has a limited color gamut. And lastly, CMYK cannot properly display all colors. So what's the verdict? As you can see, choosing color is anything but black and white. The short answer is probably to choose CMYK. It will be easier to work with printers using this format because it is what they are used to. Although technology is advancing to make RGB more feasible, for now that's still mostly used for web design and things that aren't going to be printed. However, that is not the only option. If you think RGB is better for you, then no one should stop you from using that. And, in fact, there are plenty of designers who would agree with you. The decision is ultimately up to you. But there are some things you should consider in addition to the pros and cons. What you use will depend on several things, such as what sort of printer do you have available to you? How exact do these colors have to be? How much color is being used? How bright are the colors? What does the printer you're working with prefer? And the last question, of course, raises an interesting point. Have you figured out where you're going to print yet? Simply printing something out from your home computer won't give you the right results. Regardless of whether you use RGB or CMYK printing, you won't get the vibrant colors that you want. Ready to print? So if you're looking for a place to print, consider our services. Regardless of what your needs are, we've got you covered. We even have a team of graphic designers if you're looking for help with developing your design. We offer a wide range of services to suit every need. If you're looking for printing in our area, be sure to check us out. Call us at 757-545-7675 or visit us online at www.hackworth.co.